I found a hidden Pokemon store, and today we're gonna check it out. Let's go. But I got something for ya, a BGS 9 graded first edition Neo Destiny Light Azumarill. Look at those subcategories, my friends, and the beautiful card. I pulled it myself, going to one of y'all. Subscribe to the channel, leave a big old like on this video, and let me know in the comment section below, what is your favorite Pokemon game of all time?
Walking into the store, you're greeted by Lost Origin pre-release displays, which is really cool. It's a pretty big space, but I walked in and the guy was gracious enough to let me film. So as we continue walking, there's a massive display case, which we will be getting into. But in the meantime, there is the product that they had. Now, it wasn't too much product, and after I asked him, what types of product do you get in? Is there any like older product? Is there any other modern product? Those were the specific stuff based off of what is popular for playing the actual TCG. Moving on, this is the actual display case. Now, you're seeing a lot of Magic the Gathering, of course. There are some Pokemon boxes, specifically for the newest set, Lost Origin, which just came out the other week. And then we move on to the actual cards. The cards in the displays. We actually have lots of obviously ultra rares and above, full arts. There's a nice welder. I did see coming up some actual vintage cards, but this looks like this case probably gets dealt heavy damage during the weekends especially, so there wasn't as much as there usually probably is, basing it off of all the blank spaces in that display case. But you got some nice Lost Origin hyper rares, which is always cool to see. A Radiant Charizard from Pokemon Go. And then I spotted actually some, it looks like a Ruby and Sapphire a staff card, a Snorlax card, and you got some other older-ish type of cards and play Pokemon cards, which I thought was pretty cool. And then of course, Trainer Gallery cards. And then coming up, I actually saw some pretty cool staff type of playmats, specifically this one right here, an Articuno one, a staff one, which is always cool. I don't think you see too many of those out there, and the other ones were just magic. Moving on to the rest of the store, they had plushies. Not too many Pokemon plushies, but if you like whatever these represent, these types of plushies for whatever shows or just in general, there they are. It's got lots of playroom to play games and board games.
That was Boardwalk Games. The guy was really nice at the front desk, but I just kind of wanted to show you what was there. There wasn't as many variety of singles, but apparently they change up what they got, you know, what's coming in for that week. That was nice. Let's check out another place.
And we're up to the races. Now, this is a place that the last time I was here was several years ago, and it was packed with Pokemon memorabilia, and most importantly, it had tons of Pokemon cards. Yes, I was talking for a little in the background of this video, but it was mainly just saying I voice acted for the show One Piece, which I was one of the cool Yeti brothers, if you haven't listened to the dub, which you should. And of course, I've done several other voices in general. But that brings me back to the first time I found this place, which I will name it later on. There was a ton of voice actors there, including some from the show Dragon Ball Super. And that is kind of when I began my journey into voice acting. And by years ago, it was a long time ago. Time flies by so fast. But this place was just packed and decked out with Pokemon stuff. So for this time, I spent some digging trying to find where all of the Pokemon items were, which we will get to very shortly. But in the meantime, if you are a fan of mangas, anime, or just very, very cute cat things like you're seeing on screen right now, this is your place. There is not just those interesting types of items. There are lots of cool toys and other fun things that you can see. They got tons of plushies and other type of small, basically gifted items. And then I did come up to some actual Pokemon items, Pokemon keychains in particular. They had a very nice variety of different Pokemon like Charizard, which I loved a lot, and Umbreon too. And then they had Mimikyu and several other Pokemon and some pins as well. And then of course, moving on, they also had obviously tons of shows, DVDs, Blu-rays, small models, figures. It really is such an eclectic store that is, if you're from the Dallas area, it is off the highway, George Bush. And they also had some pretty cool shops and other stuff that were around the area, and cool restaurants too. I'm saying the word cool a lot, but I didn't really want to talk too much in there because it was full of copyrighted music that they were playing in the background, and I thought it would be kind of, well, it would definitely get copyright strikes if I did. But there was also lots of other random items and clothes that you were able to get, especially the SpongeBob socks, which I was very, very close to picking up myself. And then they had some pop figures as well. I don't collect them myself, but we did find some Piplups. Very cool to see some Piplup ones. There was some other ones which we are getting to very, very shortly as well in the Pokemon realm, like these Leafeon ones. They actually had a lot of them. So I'm guessing that those are fairly common ones because I know there are more rare ones. But moving on to the rest of the store, it is just filled with books and miniature maze games as well. I used to build models of Gundam when I was growing up, as we quickly find some more Pokemon Legos, actually. Still have not found any cards, but in the meantime, we've run into some Pokemon items, but I did used to build some Gundam models when I was growing up, and I still have them at my parents' house. And moving to the back of the store, we actually run into some models, or at least they look like models from watching this footage again. And there are some other smaller models right there too. So didn't get any this time. Definitely those are awesome to do. I wish I had time to do it. And then of course we do have some Dragon Ball Z items, Dragon Ball Super items, bunch of other mugs and shows. And then you get to the big old wall of manga. Lots and lots of it. But before we get to more of that, we got some more plushies. And I do find a couple more Pokemon items like this Gengar hat. Or at least I believe it's a Gengar hat. And there's another Pokemon one coming up very shortly that I find. But, I mean, as you can see, this store just goes on and on with lots of plushies and other types of items. And then I find a Pikachu hat. It looks like there was a Pikachu keychain at the very top that I may have missed, or they just maybe blend in. I thought that was a Pokemon one, but I think that's the Sailor Moon cat. Maybe not. And then we get to the big old wall of lots and lots of manga. I used to read more of it when I was growing up, but you can just see that's the entire wall that's filled with it. Now, looking through these, got like Neo Genesis Evangelion. Didn't read it. I was almost tempted to get some of these, but obviously the anime is, I think, one of the best in history. So I thought this was really cool, especially going through and looking at all these. And there we have found Pidgeotto, pop figures, and a Caterpie. Out of about all of them, I found that random. And then last but not least, we found some phone buttons.
The place was pretty cool. It's called Books Kinokuniya, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I decided to stop by my old comic shop that I used to buy Pokemon cards when it first came out. Didn't know that it's not open on Mondays, but it's called Keith's Comics, North Dallas. Look at this thing. It's been here for, look at that, 1989. So it's definitely been around for a while. I'll have to come and check out this place when it's open, but it does have some Pokemon cards, or at least it did the last time I was here a few years ago. So I'm hoping that now they continue to have Pokemon cards, and you know, we'll check it out next time. I thought we'd try our hand at Goodwill. There's always hidden stuff in the aisles. You just gotta really look out for it. And I've actually found cards here several times. Wish me luck. We have made it to the toy aisle. Keep your eyes out, guys. Sometimes those are filled with cards. I thought these were the Donkey Kong drums. Continuing to look. Very nice. Used Play-Doh. Recipe box. All right, nothing on this side. Look at that. We have found something. An Eevee plush. I hope that's free. Some dirt on it. Let's continue. Hey, that still counts. These look like they're just plushies over here. Other than the Eevee, I didn't see anything. The place was an absolute mess. Probably one of the worst times I've seen the store at. I don't know when they stock up this place, but there really wasn't much. I'm all about supporting those local game stores, so definitely let me know the next ones you want me to go visit. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Now, my name is Leonhart. Stay awesome, stay positive, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.